Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Gabby. I hope you guys are doing well out there. And what are we going to talk about in today's video? So in this video, I want to address a very important topic as it pertains to the social impact community, the social work community, and really anyone who is thinking about going to graduate school over the next several months or the next few years. So right now, around the world and in the United States, where I am based, we are going through a global pandemic due to the COVID-19 virus, and it has totally changed the landscape of the world. Everything has been impacted as far as jobs go. People are working from home, and as far as schooling and actually getting education, people are doing that from home via Skype, Zoom, or any other type of video chat service as well. As far as going to the actual campus and taking classes on site, that is really not a thing right now. And education is being put 100% online for most universities and institutions. Is it a bright idea to go to grad school during the pandemic or amidst this economic recession? There is actually a trend of people going to grad school during recessions because they figure I might as well take this time to go to grad school, further my education, so that hopefully when I'm out of grad school, the job market will be better. That's the thinking process that a lot of people have during economic declines. Just because this is a trend that tends to happen doesn't mean it's a good idea. And when I'm talking to you about this topic, I'm going to come at it from my perspective and talk about what I would do if I were faced with answering the question of should I go to grad school or not during this time. So there's a lot of things to unpack in this video, and hopefully I can help you with doing just that. So let's jump right into the video. One thing you have to consider when you're thinking about going to grad school is whether or not you need to go to grad school for whatever field that you are interested in. As far as social work is concerned, I know a lot of people who watch me are in that niche and in that specific field. You don't need a master's degree to be a social worker. You can be a licensed social worker with just a bachelor's degree. However, you want to consider what your end goal is after you graduate. If you are interested in being a therapist, then going to grad school is the best bet for you, and it will lead to you getting a higher salary. But if you want to get a master's in social work and you're not really clear on your goals, or you're not really sure if it's going to lead to a significant salary increase, or maybe you're one of the lucky people out there who have managed to get a very great paying job with just a bachelor's degree, it may not really serve you to get a graduate school degree during this time. And another thing to consider is what type of scholarships and financial aid you have been able to get for yourself. If you are able to land a full ride or a partial ride to graduate school, or let's say you're in one of those programs where your tuition is going to be paid by you doing research or doing a TA or teacher assistant program, then maybe going to grad school is actually a good idea for you for that degree. So definitely consider that. If you're in a situation where you know you're going to have to pay most of your tuition out of pocket, it's probably not a good idea for you to go to school right now. And also consider where you want to go to school as well. I think I've shared this story, but I actually got a majority full ride to go to grad school. Yes, it was great that I didn't have to pay for actually going to grad school, but I had to pay for rent, I had to pay for utilities, I had to pay for food, etc. Consider that as well. Consider the cost of living and the rent amount in the specific area that you're looking to go to grad school in, because even if you get a full ride, you may still have to borrow a lot of money in order to pay that. And as I always say, it may sometimes not seem like a big deal to take out student loans and to take out debt, because it may be something that you see as being far in the future. Oh, I don't have to pay my student loans back into the next 3 to 5 years or so, like whatever. But that time is going to go by, and if you are not prepared to pay that loan off, it's going to put you in a very tight, uncomfortable, and stressful situation once you actually have to deal with paying that debt back. These are all things to consider. Whether or not you actually need a graduate school degree to get to the position you want to be in, whether or not having a grad school degree is going to lead to an increase in salary, and also what type of scholarships and assistance you're able to get for your grad school degree, and also considering where you're going to school. Another thing that's important to think about is that unfortunately going to grad school during this time means that you're going to have to miss out on a lot of benefits that I had going through my graduate school experience and what other people had going to grad school before COVID-19 hit. So what are those benefits that I'm talking about? So the first one is having that actual one-on-one, in-person relationship with your professors, with your classmates, having that in-person hands-on experience at your field placements, and getting the chance to be involved in extracurricular activities that can really help to mold the type of professional you are once you finish your grad school degree. These options may just not be available for you if you go to grad school in 2020 or 2021, because we really just don't know when we're going to find a vaccine for this virus and when universities are going to be comfortable opening up the doors again, and when different organizations and nonprofits are going to be comfortable with having interns in person and just working within the organization and not doing all of their work from home. So I know a lot of people are big advocates for online learning, and online learning is often the choice for people who are full-time workers and those who are mid-level professionals. But I don't think it really can be denied that having that in-person teaching and being in the actual classroom with your professors and your peers kind of trumps going to school online. I have taken classes online before. I actually finished an online certification program last week. And although I was able to build those relationships and it was okay for the most part, it just was not comparable to getting that in-person experience and having that type of dynamic where you can talk to your professors at the end of class about things that are more personal, build that relationship. Can you get a decent education 100% online? Of course you can, but there are going to be some areas that you just won't be able to have, or some of those benefits that you just won't be able to take part in. So that's just something to consider. Also thinking about the fact that people attend grad school in order to build those networks and to make connections. That's one of the most important reasons we go to grad school, because we are able to be taught by world-renowned professors who do research on the areas that we really care about. And we're able to go to these internships and meet leaders of our field and really create those relationships and those bonds that will help you to get jobs in the future after you finish your graduate school experience. But once again, kind of tying into the topic that I just mentioned, you're not going to be able to create as strong of a bond solely via Zoom or a video chat program. And I know a lot of people out there are very similar to myself, where the pursuit of knowledge and higher learning is a part of your core. It's a part of your value system. You want to go to school just so you can be in that intensive environment and learn and grow as an individual. However, I think right now it's important to consider whether it's worth taking a risk of paying all of this money when money is already a little uncertain to go to grad school simply for the love of learning. I know for people out there who are like this and really do love learning, it may be difficult for you to hear. I think right now more than ever, we have to be practical when it comes to making decisions that impacts our finances, because finances are already so uncertain at this point. And there are so many other ways to increase your knowledge base and to continue learning that doesn't involve being in a classroom. But this is definitely a decision you have to make on your own, because we also have those individuals who have been looking for a job for the past several months, and whatever area they're interested in just doesn't have a lot of opportunity. And with COVID-19, the opportunities have dwindled even more. So if you're at home right now, twiddling your thumbs, you don't really have any job prospects, it may make sense for you to just enroll in grad school so that you can be using this time to grow yourself instead of it being wasted because you can't find a job. And then another pro of going to grad school right now, or something to consider, is that since we are in this economic recession, once things go back to normal, the market is going to be more competitive, right? As I mentioned, it's going to take a while for the market to get back to normal. So some employers may actually increase the requirements or qualifications that they want their future employees to have before they hire them. So for example, maybe before a certain role only required a bachelor's degree, but now that same role requires a master's degree. That's a possibility as well. I know different type of employers may approach it differently. Some positions and some areas may value experience more, and then other areas may value education more. So I think you should definitely do the research on the area that you're most interested in, ask questions, talk to people who's currently working in that area and figure out what is the most valued trait. Is it someone with more experience, or is it someone that has a higher education? So yeah, the answer really is not simple. I think it also depends on what your undergraduate school degree is in and whether or not the job market values that undergraduate degree. For example, my undergrad degree was in psychology, and I know it's pretty tough to find a job with just a bachelor's in psychology. But let's say your bachelor's degree is in something like marketing or an area that is a little bit more terminal, then you probably could get away with skipping out on grad school for now and finding a pretty decently paid job in the meantime. But I know in my case, when it comes to a psychology degree, that's not really terminal. People who get a psych degree are usually expected to continue their education, go to grad school, get a PhD, get a master's of some sort. So it also depends on your specific major as well. But if you do decide to go to grad school at this time, I would say work harder than ever to try to secure some type of scholarships or some type of paid TA or RA positions, and also strongly consider the location. You probably don't want to go to grad school in New York City or Chicago or some huge expensive city at this time. I mean, if you're from these cities and you can live at home or live with family during this time to help keep that cost down, then it makes sense. But if you're like me, where I'm from Ohio and I moved to go to Chicago, I was by myself, had to take care of myself financially alone, then it would definitely be more difficult. So I would consider those things. I would also make sure I was very clear from the college that I was interested in about what the field placement opportunities are going to look like this year. I would talk that through with admissions to make sure that I would walk away with solid experience, even though a portion of it would not be in person. I would ask the admissions counselors what they're doing to make sure that the students still have a quality field placement experience, even amidst the COVID-19 virus. Because at the end of the day, you're paying a lot of money to go to grad school, and you need to make sure that your experience is going to be beneficial for you. At the end of the day, your goal is to leave grad school and be able to get a higher paid job and to be able to better yourself and increase your knowledge and increase your earning potential. I would also talk to the college about exactly how they are implementing the classes and make sure that they have the whole technology situation 100% figured out before the start of my term. They need to have a clear plan of action around how they're going to make sure these students still have a proper education. This is crazy, you guys. Definitely unprecedented. Definitely unexpected, but we have to do our research and ask the right questions of admissions counselors if we are planning to go back to grad school. I've heard horror stories from graduate school students that got into their program, found out that it was a hot mess, definitely ask a lot of questions if you are preparing to go to grad school over the next few months, because you deserve a solid education. And as far as I know, cost of tuition is not going to be decreased during this time. So you're still paying the same amount of tuition that I paid. So you deserve to get as good of an education as people who got grad school degrees before the pandemic hit. But whatever decision you make, I hope it is the best decision for you at this time. And my thoughts are with you guys. And remember, if you really don't have to go to grad school right now, you don't have to. I know some people feel a lot of pressure about going to grad school, but it'll always be there. As far as I know, universities are not planning to shut down anytime soon. So you can always pick up where you left off during your undergrad degree and go back to school when things are a little bit more stable. So just keep that in mind and know that that is a viable option. Because I remember when I was making that decision, I just felt a lot of pressure to go right into grad school. And I'm not totally sure where that pressure came from, but don't put that on yourself. I mean, if you are having pressures just from the economy and you know that going to grad school is going to be a better economic move for you, then maybe you want to consider that. And that's totally valid. But if it's just internal pressure and voices coming from yourself that you have to go to grad school, or you're not going to be worthy, or you're not going to be deserving of certain jobs or benefits, please quiet that voice and just understand that you can go back to school later when things are more situated and when you can actually get the traditional college experience that I think we all have come to expect. But thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Are you planning on going to grad school over the next several months? Or if so, what considerations have made you feel comfortable with that decision? And if you're not planning to, why not? I'm very curious to know. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.